Hello, plant friends. I was recently in Europe and I was able to meet up with my friend Oscar. Oscar is Plant That Plant on Instagram. I know nothing about the European plant scene, so it was great to meet up with him. We had a really nice long talk comparing the European scene with the US scene. You know, what are plant prices, what's rare, what's common. We were also able to do some good plant window shopping. A privilege, a pleasure to hang out with him, and I hope you guys enjoy. Okay, all right, so I would say this obviously is a poorly variegated.
Yeah.
A poorly variegated.
And it also needs some water.
Monstera. Monstera. Good size though. Okay, so so let me think about the price for this as is, like as a poorly variegated. So this has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, like 8 leaves. This is the small leaf variety. Yeah, good, really well rooted with lots of aerial roots. So this one I would price at this size at least 150. I would say, yeah, it's gotta be a little bit more. I'd say 150 to 250. This size and this
250.
150 to 250 would be my estimate about what this thing would sell for with this size and this exact variegation, which is little, right? Like basically minimal variegation pattern. I would not recommend buying something like this, right?
I think it has variegation on the stem.
Yeah,
that is pretty neat, but it basically has reversed.
Yes, basically there's the variegation. There's very minimal on the stem, very minimal on the leaf. So yes, I would not advise buying something like this. I would actually highly caution buying a plant like this. But people have sold plants like this, and I think that the market would probably price this guy. Yeah, I would say that people are pricing it 150 to 250, right? A lot of people don't know what to look for. And so for some people, they just buy something like this hoping that it becomes more variegated or that the seller tells them that, oh, you can do this or that and it'll become more variegated over time, right? So yeah, I would price this at about 150 to 250 in the US.
Yeah. So around here, I think, since it's a good size, and maybe someone would like this pattern right here. But then I don't think you'll get much more variegated than this. But maybe $50 or so.
$50.
Yeah.
Okay. So, that's still quite a bit cheaper. Would you be able to find something like this or a variegated monstera like at a store or at a local?
No, we got the huge Monstera borsiana, the variegated ones on moss poles, so you can find them on in stores. They come like in these giant sizes from Holland. Okay. And this is a cutting from one of those. Yeah. So, but I don't think you would find this size in a store.
So it's either giant or nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. At least around here.
Yeah. So how much is like a giant one? A giant one, I'm sure you guys have seen. If you look at you look up like variegated monstera on Instagram. Like there's a lot of people on Instagram who like show these giant ones. A lot of them are from Europe, right? So how much is a giant one? You're talking about giant as in like 5 feet tall or something.
Yeah, like exactly. Like you can
hug it. Yeah,
you can give it a good hug.
Yeah.
I think they're like 2,500 to 3,000 Swedish crowns. So that'll be like
250.
Yeah,
250. Okay, for a giant one. Yeah. So just to let you know that so let's say that this variegated monstera here was optimally variegated. Let's say like, 50%, 40% variegated, this size, you're talking about like 400 to 500 and above in the US. This size. We're not talking about huggable. Well,
you can get a little hug.
Yeah, because this is like 8, right?
Is it?
It's huggable a little bit.
Yeah, it's almost. It's okay.
Yeah,
it's a small hug.
Yeah, but 8 leaf.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
did you break it?
No.
Okay.
But yeah, guys, that size 8 leaf with optimal variegation. Yeah. I would say that would sell for. Yeah, I would say you can start a price about $500 for that. And no, you.
Is that's a split leaf? No.
Well, I would say not to say like a half moon. Is that what you're saying? No. I would say like if the variegation was like 30 to 40% variegated, like a good variegated, like the one that you gave away for your giveaway recently, right? I would say that's a very well variegated. But I didn't take a really good close picture, but I would say that's at least like 40% variegation.
It's like splattered a bit. So
right?
Something like that.
I would say about 40%, right? So an 8 leaf one this size would go for about $500 in the US. Yeah,
$500. So that one would go for like $1,000 or what? The big
for
one.
yours?
Yeah. What have I given away?
Yeah.
No, that's super hard to say.
So for yours, it's very hard to say because one is that some people to make the most out of it probably to make the most out of it, the easiest way most people would just like chop it into.
Aww.
Right? Yeah, they would probably chop it into 4s or 5s and then propagate it and then sell each for like $200-$300 or something like that. It's hard to really put a. Yeah, I know that's why
my soul is gone, so I shouldn't be the one to talk. But
that's why we really don't see that many large variegated monstera in the U.S. for some of that, usually that reason. But also, it's hard to put a price on such a large specimen as the one you gave away. I'll try to show a picture of it in the video about how big that size is, because. Yeah, it's hard to put a price because it's so rarely seen in the U.S. something that big, and for the because a lot of people will just like chop it off. So I mean who was the winner in the EU? Was the winner in the EU?
Europe.
Okay, all right. Philodendron Birkin. How is that here?
That's not a. Is that a fake plant?
You know what I cannot give you. All I can say is that some people have been able to keep that plant in its.
And I have not.
I have not either.
You have not either. It has reverted, right?
Yes, it just turns funky.
Yeah.
And then it just.
Mine just turned fully green, and when I've talked to the sellers like about the humidity, about the light. I don't believe in Anna, but. It should be.
I will stay out of this Birkin conversation. Like I said,
I don't sell it anymore. I sold it for a bit,
Yeah, all I can say is.
And I've done some refunds.
Yeah, so I can say 3 things about it. One is that I don't think there's been any reputable proof.
No.
Or from good sources that it is. Artificial. So there's that's one thing I can say. 2 is that a lot of people have had problems with the Birkin. Right? You have had problems. I've had problems. A lot of people who have been on the forums on Facebook that I've chatted with, they've had problems with the Birkin, as in they keep reverting or losing it. And then the third point is that there have been very few people that I don't know personally. Who say that they've been able to keep their plant well. So So I will.
No, I'm not exactly. When I said I was joking a little bit, but it's it's a beautiful plant when it can keep the
when it's
the kind of striped lines and so on. And
But is it sold here? Like, is it?
Yeah, it's been sold. Not anymore. It never like in stores, just on online.
Okay.
And on different sales channels and groups, and I've had it for a little bit, but
I think the situation in the U.S. is similar.
Yeah. So how is it in the U.S.? It's dropping.
The Birkin. I think the Birkin was very popular. I think the heyday of the Birkin, in terms of prices, has gone. Like, it's not as expensive as it was before. I suspect that might be in part due to the whole pink Congo thing.
Yeah.
I think with the pink Congo thing, a lot more people started questioning, how real the variegation of certain plants are. So that might be affected by the Birkin. But again, like you said, the Birkin is such a pretty plant. Like when it's when it's there, it's very, very lovely.
Yeah.
So I think time will kind of tell us where it's headed. But it's still a popular plant, very beautiful. But in terms of price and popularity, you can probably get a reasonable size Birkin probably for like $60-$70, whereas it probably went for about like $100 to $120 before, at the high side.
I think they were sold for like, or I saw them for $150 here at one point.
Yeah,
but then I got them super expensive as well.
Yeah.
But then it dropped real quick. So.
Yeah, I think that's very similar to how it was in the US. Yeah, I think you're probably capped out about 150. Yeah.
And then the whole variegation, that maybe is another YouTube, but that's finding out what's a real variegation, what's not a real variegation, different colors to variegation. It's a whole science to it, and it's a bit of a risky business, I think. Yeah, it's really hard to know these days what's a real variegation.
I agree with you. It's and it's like you said, it's like a tsunami where like things come in like waves, right? So for me, it's it's always a bit suspicious when there's this new plant that just like came out of nowhere from like Thailand that's just like a new color or a new variegation, right? Like it's just like all of a sudden just like popped up and it just like and it splashes on the US, it splashes here. And it becomes, the next big thing or so popular. And like in my head, I'm like, where was this plant before?
Yeah, exactly. So maybe just to wait a little bit till the splash is gone.
That
wait out the hype and so on. Because the prices usually goes down after a couple of months. It feels like that. Yeah,
and I think, more and more people, if the variegation isn't true, more and more people will let it be known. And they'll get people let it known about the pink Congo. It was very
that was crazy. Does this fit with your wait, I have to figure out the English word here now. With your expectations of the European market, what you have seen here today? Because the cappuccino was really expensive in Copenhagen, and now the plants here are they?
Yeah. I think so. Guys, in case you haven't been chatting with me or following me on Instagram or something, like the cost of living here in when I was visiting Copenhagen and even here in Sweden, I think the food prices and cost of living is higher than I expected. Even compared to the U.S. and even compared to the rest of Europe, I felt the prices were higher. So, given how expensive everything else is, and how cheap these plants are here, I mean, these plants are really cheap. Like compared to what you guys are paying, for entertainment or food or a night out or something, these plants are ridiculously cheap, right? That's not the same in the U.S.
No.
In the U.S., a lot of these plants, relative to everything else that we're spending money on, is significantly higher. So I did not expect some of these plants. Like when you told me that the Pink Princess is like $30, like that's crazy. The Tetrasperma, I'm like, sure, I think I always expected, or at least I've thought about the Variegated Monstera being cheaper in EU for a while. So I don't think that part surprises me too much. But what you were in the US for IAS.
Yeah.
Right? That's where we met. So what was there anything in the US that you remembered about plants that surprised you?
Anything about the plants?
Or the prices? What did you go shopping?
No, I just made a little swap. but the thing that I got excited about is the full-on enthusiasm about plants.
Okay.
And like the absence of aroid shows in Europe. But then prices, I think the prices were. It's a little bit different plants. Let's see how I can address this properly. But for example, the philodendrons and aroids, anthuriums coming from Ecuador and so on, I think they were really good at really good prices.
Okay.
And then for these plants that comes from Holland.
Yeah. Much more expensive, right?
Yeah, they are way more expensive over there. So it's since Holland is such a machinery and they can like get so many plants out, and the tissue culture plants from Asia and so on.
Yeah.
They a lot of them are way cheaper. But then they cannot work with all the different hybrids and so on. So therefore the hybrids can be way expensive over here than they are in the US, because we don't have tropical zones, and not a lot of people are importing these rare philodendrons or hybrids or so on. So some of those plants, like for example Anthurium VHI or VHI,
VHI.
That has been an expensive plant here for a really long time, and really is still an expensive plant. Maybe $100, $150, $200 for a good plant. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
And I've seen that's not too uncommon for in the area of Florida and overall in the US.
No, I think you can get I think you can get a small size VHI in the US for like $80.
Yeah. So most of that, like the different types of plants that are from Holland, that they are able to reproduce really quickly, and then the really rare like hybrids and so on coming from South America. They are really good prices. Now I'm talking a lot.
No, so if anything, I think the Europeans you guys should be hopeful that more things get tissue cultured, because your prices just drop like a ton, right? And then they still are expensive in the US because it takes a while to bring it over.
Yeah, exactly. And then we can create the hype all over here, and then when it gets over to your side of the world, then it will be hype there. So everything it comes in waves from Asia, and then it splashes over here in Europe, and it's super it's crazy, and then it goes down a bit, and then it pops up in the US. So it's like a tsunami of plants going over the world, and it just hits Europe, and then it hits the US for some of the plants.
As always, guys, if you're enjoying the content, if you like the content, please like, subscribe, hit that bell icon to not miss any of our future videos. And please, if you have not or are not already following Oscar on Instagram, his Instagram again is plant. Definitely give him a follow. Super, super nice guy. And until next time, happy planting.